Well, I wanted to ask you, William, you were a pilot, and give me the story on that, because we always used to call you the flyboy or something like that.
Well, yeah, we was a pilot, and then I heard coming in, we were talking about Up, Up, and Away and how that all came about. I was also a hot air balloon pilot.
Have we told that story correctly? I've been telling it for 26 years.
All I heard was that it was related to a KMEN promotion. I
don't think we finished the story.
We ran out of intro. Hear from you originally. What's the true story?
Okay, here's the true story of that promotion and how that song came about. This guy,
Jimmy Webb.
Jimmy Webb. This guy Picard, who's like a member of the famous Picard adventurous family, the underwater explorer and all that stuff. He's in that family, but his passion was hot air ballooning, and he came to the station one day and said, I have this hot air balloon, and he wanted to do something with the station. Said, can we promote this in some way? And at the time, there were less than 100 hot air balloon pilots, licensed pilots in the country.
There was a lot of hot air, but not many hot air balloons.
Well, that's why he came to KMEN. Yeah. He was looking for a source of fuel.
Right. We'd heard that story, so we're confirming
you got that part. Okay. So anyway, the short version of the story is Jerry Jolstad, who knew I was a pilot, says, can you fly a hot air balloon? And I says, does it go up?
And Jerry was the general manager.
He was the general manager,
boss,
the bear, as we affectionately called him. Okay. And I said, I can fly it. I had no idea. But so he said, okay, well, you meet Mr. Picard. And so we got to talking, and he set up this balloon promotion for us. And there was a new, where I was going to fly this hot air balloon and take listeners for a ride in it and stuff like that. And they hooked it up on a tether. So it wouldn't get away. And it was Uncle Henry's hot dogs or something there across from the Orange Show. I don't remember the name of it, but it was a new fast food hot dog stand. So the sales guys got together and says, hey, you give us some money and we'll send William F. Williams out here with this balloon and take people up in the sky. You make a lot of money and we'll have a lot of fun. So that was how the deal was set up. They took me out in the desert for, a month and taught me how to fly the balloon, which was an adventure in itself.
Did you get overtime for that?
Oh, sure. Just like we got overtime for the walk back and forth and so on and so on.
Yeah, your overtime was, if you don't do this promotion, you're going to be fired over time.
Yes, over a very short period of time. So I hooked this thing up on a tether and was taking kids up in a balloon. And Jimmy Webb, who I had just met previously, he was going to Valley College at the time, and he was an aspiring songwriter, and a guy named Mike Riley who'd been driving us nuts at the station saying, you got to meet Jimmy Webb, and, he's got this record, and da-da-da, and, we used to get that, like, every 20 minutes, so it's like, yeah, okay. So it took me literally months to meet Jimmy, and the first time I met him, went over to Valley College and sat down, and I said, rather haughtily, since we were the KMEN, of course, I said, okay, play me a tune. So he said, okay, play me By the Time I Get to Phoenix.
Oh,
First song, sat down at the keyboard and played it. I said, okay. You got anything else? So he played me about 40 other tunes of equal caliber. I mean, it was astounding. He was 18 or 19 years old at the time.
Wow.
So cutting back to the hot air balloon, so Jimmy came by that night while I was flying the balloon. It was at night, and it was amazing what this balloon looks like at night when you torch it off in the sky. There's this huge incandescent ball up there. So I took Jimmy up, and we were hanging up around at the top. I think we were on a 700 tether, something like that. And he, poet that he is, he says, I'm inspired. This is beautiful. He said, I have to write a song about this. I said, well, I'm writing a screenplay about hot air balloons, and you can write the title tune. And he says, oh, okay, I'd love to do that. So he said, what's the title of the movie? I said, I don't know. And so he says, that's a strange title. I don't want to write that. So anyway, a few weeks later, I was up in the middle of the night working on the screenplay, and the title just came to me. It was Up, Up, and Away. I thought, oh, great idea. So I called Jimmy, who was living at Johnny Rivers' house at the time.
Now, see, this is what we didn't know. You came up with the title of Up, Up, and Away, and then Jimmy wrote the song.
Wrote the song.
Oh, okay.
So I called him at Johnny's house because every jock who got to pick his own records had Johnny's home phone number in those days. You call him, Johnny, hey, the check's in the mail. I'm kidding.
Yeah, he's kidding. Sure.
So I called him up, and it's at 3 o'clock in the morning, and he wakes up, and I said, I got the title for the song for you. And he says, what? And I says, Up, Up, and Away. And there's this long pause on the other end of the phone. He says, what? And I says, Up, Up, and Away. And he says, I'll never forget. I have to put a bleep in here. He said, that is the stupidest bleeping title I have ever heard. He said, I can't write a song about that. I says, good night, hung up. So the next day, he came out to, called me and says, I'll meet you at Valley College at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So we went over there and met, and I sit down and you probably know this about Jimmy's songs by now. As somebody, Lou Adler, great record producer, once described Jimmy as the king of the wrist slasher songwriters, because they're all like, oh, my heart is broken, it's your fault, and I hope you die because I'm dying.
Yeah.
I mean, that's sort of the Jimmy Webb genre in a nutshell. So I told Jimmy, I said, look, this is a happy song. This has a happy ending. This is basically like a dumb movie. It's a hot air balloon version of Beach Blanket Bingo. It's set in Palm Springs with Annette Funicello and that crowd. And at the end, they're all happy, so it's got to be a happy song. And I gave him, 2 or 3 words. I said, these words kind of go in there. And he says, okay, I'll see what I can do. So Mike Riley and I said, okay, we're going to cross the street to Taco Bell, get some tacos. We'll be back.
See, I didn't know tacos were involved in this story.
Tacos, big part of the story. Listen, Mexican food, man. This is
That's how he filled the balloon.
It's all coming together now.
Put that down morning drive,
This makes sense.
So we came back, and the legend is that we were gone 22 minutes. It was in the neighborhood, but the legend is 22 minutes. We came back. Jimmy says, "What do you think?"
Wait, he wrote the song in 22 minutes?
In 22 minutes.
Wow. And the lyrics and the music?
The whole thing.
The lyrics, too.
The lyrics, the music, the whole thing. And I made one tiny suggestion, which in those days I was arrogant enough to do.
That you released this, you sing the record, and they said no, and we'll get the Fifth Dimension.
Actually, my suggestion was that I owned the copyright. But anyway, that was it. I made just one little suggestion. He said,
and that was in the music portion, wasn't it? Not the lyric. The suggestion.
It was in the music portion.
Yeah.
It was to modulate, and he says, I didn't know what you call it. I said, when it gets right here, man, can you kind of make it get a little more up? And he says, you mean modulate? I said, yeah, that's what I meant. I had no idea.